This is Personal Injury Court.
This is the matter of Simmons versus Hargrove. Mr. and Mrs. Simmons, I've read the materials that you all have submitted to this court. It appears you all are suing Mr. Hargrove for injuries that you sustained when you went down a water slide at his park. You're asking this court to award you $200,000 in past medical expenses and $1.8 million for pain and suffering for a total of $2 million. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Hargrove, your response to this is he got what he paid for in terms of going down a water slide. This is not your fault. He assumed the risk.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, now let's get into the legal sauce. Tell me how we got here, Mr. Simmons.
Well, I'm a family man, as you can see. I went to the water park with my wife and my son, and we had planned this for a while.
How old was your son?
He's 4.
So you're a real dad?
Yo, yes, sir, yes, sir.
Okay.
And I'm a water park enthusiast. I'm known around, they call me Big Sexy.
Okay.
So.
Why this park this day?
Well, the park actually had a new attraction called the Devil's Descent.
Okay.
It's one of the highest slides in the state, and I had to go ahead and make sure that I could get on, especially with my son being afraid of heights.
Heights make me nervous. I did this with my own son, who's now 28, trying to prove to him that I could do it, but I didn't end up the way you did.
It was the worst day.
Now, is this what you being prepared on the day of the incident to go down the slide, is that you?
Yes, sir.
That's Big Sexy.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and you look pretty happy there, like you're excited and ready to have a good time with your wife and son.
I was.
Was your little boy excited?
Oh, he was excited. He was running around the park. I was trying to chase him and everything, trying to keep up with him. He's my everything, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Hargrove, tell me about your park.
Well, this park has been in my family for 3 generations.
Okay.
My grandfather started it 32 years ago, and then he passed it down to my father. I have been running it for the last 3 years. We get over 7 million visitors a year now.
That's a lot of folk.
That's absolutely a lot of folks. And with that being said, with those 7 million a year, we have no injuries.
Now, you've got this ride. What's the slide called?
It's the Devil's Descent. It's a brand new ride, and it's the new attraction. It's why everybody's coming to get a ride on that Devil's Descent.
Mr. Simmons, today you don't look as excited as you seem to be in that picture when you were about to ride the slide. Tell me how this thing happened.
I go to get on the ride. It's actually about a 25-minute wait.
Okay.
So I have my wife and my son stay at the bottom.
That kind of builds the excitement though, right?
Oh, it does. And I know he's excited. I see him down there jumping and waving, and I know I'm gonna make him proud when I go down this slide.
Now, Mr. Simmons, you submitted a few documents to the court. One is a picture of the slide. I want you, if you can, take your time, but I want you, and Sheriff Matt, if you'll help him get over to the plasma, I want you to explain exactly how this happened, because I've never been on this slide, and frankly, don't care to get on it. It's too high for me.
Yes, Your Honor.
Come on, cross over. Now, is this the slide that you went down?
Yes, Your Honor. It's about 150 feet up. So when you get at the top, you notice that you're very high up.
Okay.
It's immediate. Up here, everything was fine. Next thing I know, I get to this second slide right here, the second bump, and that's where I was in the air.
You went airborne?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
I felt like I didn't touch back down till about here. And that was scary, because about here is where I noticed I had to be going maybe 60, 70 miles an hour.
Okay.
I'm flying. When I come down here, I feel it just continue, and I get to the water. Instead of splashing in, it just kind of skipped across the top here.
Like a stone on a pond?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Exactly. It was the most traumatic feeling of my life. Then I continued to cross, immediately felt pain as I landed on the concrete, and then I slammed into the retaining wall. I was thinking, oh God, I'm gonna die.
Yes, sir.
It was the most terrifying experience of my entire life.
Yes, sir. You may return to the podium.
Thank you.
Now, Mrs. Simmons, I've been talking like you're not in the room, but I'm watching your face. What was this like for you? You're standing there with your son.
To go from that and seeing him at the top all bubbly to now wondering if your husband's gonna make it, wondering if your son's gonna have a father, that was a drastic change. You know, to see your husband flying into...
Did he see his dad hit the wall?
He did.
And what was his reaction?
He's traumatized, crying. crying in tears.
So you're trying to comfort him. You're frightened about your husband. You're scared.
Exactly, yes.
Pandemonium. Mr. Hargrove, are you a family man?
I am a family man, yes.
You have babies?
Absolutely.
This kind of thing changes a marriage, changes a lot of things that are meaningful, true?
And I truly sympathize with him. But at the same time, it is not the fault of our company. I wish he just would have paid attention to all the warnings that were there ahead of time. We could have really, resolved the whole issue.
Well, how's he to know that?
Okay, so we have signs. When you walk into the park, the sign says, ride at your own risk.
That's the entrance to your park?
Yes, sir.
Was that posted the day that Mr. and Mrs. Simmons and their little boy came into the park?
Yes, sir. It's posted every day.
Now, did you see that sign? Did either of you see that sign?
No, Your Honor.
I mean, it's kind of right there. Why wouldn't you see the sign?
Like he said, they have over 7 million people come during the summer. The park was at full capacity.
You did walk in that entrance, though. I mean,
yes, I walked in actually to the left.
That is a big sign, though, right? I mean, they make it big like that so 7 million people can see it.
Your Honor,
right?
That's not the only place it is. That is at the beginning, at the entrance, but we have the signs pasted all over the park.
He's doing the bare minimum. He has the signs for the protocol, doing the bare minimum and not really caring about the people. Because you should have told us when we were buying the ticket.
Mr. Simmons, I see from the documents that you submitted to this court that you have $200,000 in medical expenses. Tell me about your injuries.
I broke my neck when I collided into the wall. It was probably the most excruciating pain. I still deal with this every day. I can't turn, I have limited vision. They had to do the fusion and now I have to wear this brace.
Yes, sir.
It makes everything tough, and this isn't my only injury.
Now, you've got your arm up in this sling. Tell me about that.
Yes, so while I took damage to my arm, I broke my collarbone.
Okay. Now, we've got another x-ray. This circle shows a bone broken. Is that your clavicle?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
How is this and these injuries affected you being a dad?
I feel like I'm not. I can't pick my son up. I see him and he comes in and he'll try to play and I can't because I'm just in excruciating pain.
And that's pretty bad, right?
Yeah, and I sympathize with him. I sympathize with his pain and his suffering.
That's good to hear.
But it's not our fault. He violated the weight policy.
Well, I don't see anything on here about a weight policy. How is it supposed to work?
The weight policy just informs all of our riders that if you're above a certain weight, this is not the ride for you because it could cause you some type of issue. Now,
above a certain weight, what weight?
Yeah, it depends on the ride.
And be careful, I'm a 235 pounds.
Okay, on this ride particular, the weight is 300 pounds.
Okay.
Mr. Simmons is clearly over 300 pounds.
How would he know about the 300-pound limit?
We have a sign. We have a sign posted on the ride.
You've submitted that sign to the court?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's take a look at it. The red circle says maximum weight 300 pounds.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you expect that he would see that?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Simmons, I'm asking here gently, how much do you weigh, sir?
365.
And were you 365 thereabouts on the day that you rode this Devil's Descent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, sitting here in this courtroom, this looks like it's plain as the day is long that 300 pounds or more, you shouldn't ride this ride. Did you see this sign?
No, Your Honor.
So you weren't paying attention again?
The park is crowded. I mean, how can we see that? You expect the excitement. We're just going in to have a good time.
Your Honor, it's not crowded at the top of the slide. There's only one person at a time.
Well, you're reading my mind there, Mr. Hargrove.
He's overweight, sir. He's fat. I'm sorry. He's fat.
Be respectful. We're not going to do that here. That is inappropriate. It is out of line.
Yes, Your Honor.
We're trying to get to the truth here.
Yes, Your Honor. I understand. But it's not my fault that he's overweight. And it's not my fault that he didn't pay attention to the signs. We have them all over the park on each ride.
I just noticed it on this picture right now.
But you do have a responsibility to let us know. Like, you should have a responsibility to tell us that he's overweight.
Ma'am, we did let you know. We put signs up. We don't have people walking around with microphones checking everybody. It's 7 million people there.
Well, you should, because clearly it'll hurt someone if it's overweight.
Other than the weight policy, we have 2 sets of inner tubes that's up there. The smaller inner tubes are for children. The bigger inner tubes are for the adults. Okay, this is the bigger inner tube. This is the inner tube for adults. It has less air in it, so it travels down at a slower rate. He chose to get on the smaller inner tube.
How would he know? How would he know which is for whom?
We're not mind readers.
Apparently, Mr. Hargrove, this is important to you.
Yes,
right?
it's important. And they are separated. They have the small ones are set to the side for children.
Okay.
It says kids, and the large ones are to the other side for adults.
How do they select the tube?
No, we have a lifeguard at the top.
At all times?
At all times.
Okay. And you brought a witness with you. Is this your lifeguard?
This is my lifeguard.
Who was there that day? Miss Annie Davis is your name?
Yes, Your
Would you
Honor.
stand up, please, and come to the podium?
Yes, sir.
When you saw him, did you have any thoughts or concerns about your safety rules?
Yes, sir. I asked him if he was sure that he should be riding the ride, insinuating to him that I thought he may be over the weight limit.
Well, why not just say to him, sir, this is a 300-pound weight limit. I don't know how much you weigh. I don't mean to embarrass you, but if you're over 300 pounds, you can't ride this ride.
I won't be
that was
embarrassed
my
if you're trying to
concern.
save my life.
That was my concern of embarrassing him or offending him, and I assumed that he understood where I was going with that based on the nonverbal communication of
What
the eye
would make
contact.
you assume that?
His eye contact with me and my designating the sign that I was sure that he saw.
I was always taught you were supposed to make eye contact with everyone, so that didn't mean anything. If you felt like my life was in danger.
Miss Davis, when you see that he's going to ride the ride, did you try to stop him?
Sir, I turned around and I noticed that he was using the kid-sized tube. So at that point, I assumed that he was okay with the weight limit and that he was affirming to me he was under it. And so I turned to replace the inner tube that he had grabbed, which is for a child's size,
So
with
when
the
he
adult size.
When he reaches to grab the child's inner tube, you took that as he's saying
He's
to you,
confirmed that he's below
I'm
the weight
under
limit.
300 pounds.
As a
Yes, Your
professional,
Honor.
I feel like if you know that my life is on the line at your park, you should be able to say something. Like
There's
if
a
you,
lot of assuming. It's a
Again, when
lot
she
of, I
when
assume
she
your
said
weight.
to you, when she said to you, "Are you
assumed
sure you
it.
want to do this?" and you looked at her and kind of nodded, she assumed that you
so
were
a
under
nod-
the.
a
She
nod
assumed
is-
that you were
a
under
nod-
the
a
weight.
nod doesn't
So
say
she
anything.
reached to give you the
How
correct.
How many
tube,
words
and
are
when
in a
you
nod?
she turned around, you were gone.
How we know
How
that's what
many
she's
words
doing?
are in
How's
a
he
nod?
supposed to
You
know
didn't
that's
look
what
at the
she's
sign.
doing?
You didn't look at. You didn't look
Let's
at.
have order in the court. Mrs. Simmons, let's go back. Your husband and you passed two signs and then disregarded two piles. One's big, one's small.
That's the reason why you have people up there to help guide and tell you. If I'm grabbing the wrong tube, tell me. If I'm gonna hurt myself on this ride, tell
He didn't
me.
give her a
It's
chance.
not
But
my
she
she
tube.
didn't even open her mouth.
Good try.
What's eye contact?
Mr. and Mrs. Simmons, Mr. Hargrove, I think I've heard enough. I'm ready to render my decision. This case has to fit under the legal framework of a personal injury case. There are basically three elements. Personal injury case is like a three-legged stool. If one of them is missing, then the stool fails and so does your case. You all have to prove that Mr. Hargrove and his employees were wrong, that their wrong caused, second leg, your injuries. Clearly you were injured. Now the evidence is not that simple in this case. The evidence in this case, you all went to the park for a good family outing, but it does not go without noticing things that are there to protect you. Mr. Hargrove was very specific in pointing out signs at the entrance and then on the ride, both that tell you, warning, you do this at your own risk. Mr. Hargrove had a sign that had a weight limit on it. Now, both of those, you all have described you basically walking by them, and that troubles me. Then you get to the top, and there are two sets of tubes. You grab the small one without really inquiring as to which one is for adults. You also did not heed, obviously, a gentle but pointed question, should you ride this ride? Now, Mr. Hargrove, these are the essence of your systems and protocols. Safety has to be first. The signs, a lifeguard at the top, someone to warn him, but the should you ride is a little soft when the result can be absolutely tragic. Here, Mr. and Mrs. Simmons, you have proven that Mr. Hargrove's employees were wrong, that first leg of the stool. That is, they violated their own systems and protocols by not stopping you, but I cannot ignore that you disregarded three safety measures that were put in place, so you bear some responsibility. Now, in this case, Mr. and Mrs. Simmons, you are suing for $200,000 in medical expenses, $1.8 million in pain and suffering for a total of $2 million. I am not going to give you that because you are partially responsible. I am reducing your $2 million award sought to $1.5 million. I am going to find in your favor and against Mr. Hargrove for $1.5 million. And this court is adjourned. Our attorneys across America just viewed this case for the first time. Let's hear what Terry Krupin has to say.
Serious injuries can have a devastating effect, not just on the injured victim, but also on their family. This is especially true when the person injured is the primary breadwinner. When they can't work, the paychecks stop, but the bills don't. This stress can be overwhelming. That's why lost wages are such a big part of personal injury settlements.
This is the matter of Jimenez versus Sullivan. Ms. Jimenez, your daughter Alma, my understanding is you filed this lawsuit for medical expenses in the amount of $35,000, pain and suffering in the amount of $150,000 for a total of $185,000 for injuries that your daughter suffered when she fell off a platform at Miss Sullivan's dress shop. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Miss Sullivan,
Yes,
you
Your
don't think
Honor.
this is your fault. You think, frankly, this is their fault. True?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, well, let's get into the legal sauce. Ms. Jimenez, tell me how we got here.
Well, Your Honor, ever since the day my baby Alma was born, I've been planning a quinceañera. She's my only daughter, and when I was growing up, we didn't have a lot of money, so I didn't get to have one. And I don't know if you're familiar with a quinceañera, but it's a celebration.
Yes, ma'am.
Right, a 15th birthday, like a sweet 16
Yes,
or
ma'am.
a bar mitzvah.
I've been to a couple of them, so it's quite a festive occasion.
So you understand, right? It's a big to-do. I mean, we had the venue, we had the limo, the catering service, everything was done to the nines for my baby girl, my only daughter.
Is it fair to say that, and if I mess it up, it's a quinceañera?
Quinceañera.
Quinceañera.
Quinceañera,
Okay.
correct.
It's basically a coming out.
Yes.
It is. It's her debut.
Now, Miss Sullivan, you've done a number of these, right?
Absolutely, Your Honor. Yes.
In terms of preparing dresses and how you appreciate how big this is, right?
Absolutely. That's what our boutique shop does. It specializes in quinceañeras.
And,
Yes.
and everybody's pretty excited because this is a one-time incident, isn't it?
Very much so. Very much so.
Now, Miss Jimenez, tell me what happened.
Well, we were done with everything that we needed to do to prep for her quinceañera. This was the last tick we had to check off the to-do list. The final fitting of the dress.
Now, I see a dress in our
Yes.
courtroom. This is, say it one more time and I'll get it.
Quinceañera.
Quinceanera.
Yeah, there you go.
Quinceanera. I'm gonna be saying that tonight in my sleep. Okay. This is the dress that you had picked out for your daughter.
Well, it's similar to the dress.
The same
Style,
glamour.
color. Yes.
The
all
same
those-
bling.
Yes.
Right?
And her favorite color, that blue. I mean, it was all she drew it out.
So the
to-
blue had
with-
purpose.
It did. It
Right?
did.
You picked the
Special
blue because
needs.
you
She
wanted to
did.
wear blue.
She did. Look,
And-
there she is. She looked beautiful. Look how beautiful that dress
Wow.
looked on her.
You look so
Amazing.
happy, Alma.
I was so happy.
Was this your dream dress?
It was. It was the color I wanted ever since I can remember. It's the color we always talked about.
Yep.
So you're at Miss Sullivan's shop and you're getting the dress altered. What happened?
So we're there, we're in the fitting room, and so Alma gets up on that platform, the platform that's sitting right there, and she's posing, we're taking pictures, doing the selfie kind of thing, just so she could share with her friends and we could share with our family.
Y'all just having a good time, being happy.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, this is, again, we're approaching
Miss
the
Sullivan,
day of the thing.
Do you remember this happy day?
Yes, I remember it just a little bit more difficult than that.
By difficult,
yes.
what do you mean?
Well, Mrs. Jimenez was a bit difficult to work with, and
You
she
sound
was
like
very
you're dancing with the words.
demanding. She was very demanding. Yeah, she might have been a B word.
Now, I'm sure what that meant was Mama Bear.
Absolutely. This is my daughter's day. I want it to be perfect.
She was a little bit more difficult than we've ever had
But you
before.
keep saying difficult. Tell me, what does difficult mean? I need to get there.
Extremely demanding and
Give me an example.
not very willing to listen to instruction about being on the
Alma
platform.
or Miss Jimenez?
Alma. And Miss Simmons as well. I was trying to get her to not be dancing around on the platform.
Your Honor, this
Now,
is
you-
a special occasion. We are happy, we're excited.
But, Ms.
Are we
Jimenez-
supposed to stand there stiff like mummies
Well, you're
and not
trying to
do
get
anything?
the hem done, though, right?
Well, the problem is it's
It's a small platform, and the platform is strictly designed for the young lady to stand up there so that we can do the alterations and then step down after the alterations have been done, and she could do her dancing there.
So you needed them to stay still?
Yes.
Now, Miss Jimenez, how did your daughter get hurt? I see the crutches. How did she get hurt?
So, Your Honor, they did all the alterations. So she proceeds to step off the front of that platform, and you see how huge that dress is.
Yes, ma'am.
She proceeds to step off the front.
Now, you admit that y'all were moving around, having a good time.
Of course, Your Honor, we were celebrating. This was the last thing we needed to check off our list.
Playing. My favorite song came on.
I mean, it was innocent fun.
So you're dancing around, you're having a good time.
Yes, sir.
She's about to step off the platform, and then what happens?
And then she falls to the ground, Your Honor. She falls to the ground. I hear her screaming, my leg. I run over to see what was going on with her. I'm sorry, because this is very traumatic for me, just remembering back to that day.
It's a big deal for any parent to see a child hurt.
Sitting there on the floor, I'm screaming. I'm like, are you okay? I don't know what is going on with her.
You felt pretty helpless.
I did.
You discovered later that your daughter broke her leg.
I did.
As reflected in the medical records that you all submitted.
Yes, sir. So after all that, the paramedics come, and they told me that she broke her leg.
Now, Miss Sullivan, you were there that day.
Yes, I remember the incident.
What was going through your head when a young lady gets horribly injured at your place?
It's devastating for me. I have a 15-year-old child as well. This has never happened in our boutique. I'm a mother. I had a quinceañera. I know what this is about. And it was terrifying for me as well. This has never happened in our boutique. My family has run this boutique for 30 years.
But you weren't there.
Me personally,
you were not there when this
I've run it
happened. My
for
daughter is
10
still
years.
in pain.
Miss Jimenez.
Okay.
Still in pain.
I had stepped out for a moment.
So, Miss Simmons, you talked about your daughter falling on the floor. What are the nature of all of her injuries?
So she broke her tibia, her left tibia. She was in the hospital a couple of days. And she's still in the boot, as you can see.
And the pain was horrible, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
She's still in pain. This ruined our whole event.
This leg still hurts, Alma?
It does,
It
yes.
does. It does. And Your Honor, I do have the x-rays and the doctor's bills and stuff if you need that.
Sheriff Matt, if you'll retrieve the folder. Thank you, Miss Jimenez.
I'm sorry, I'm just upset.
There just can be no greater parental pain than when your child is hurt.
You feel helpless.
Mm-hmm.
I see medical bills here in the amount of $35,000.
Yes, sir.
There also is an x-ray here. Let's take a look at the monitor. What are we looking at, Miss Jimenez?
Well, that's her left tibia, broken. My baby cannot do the things that she used to do. Her cheerleading.
The homecoming dance.
Everything.
A lot of
Even
things
at-
altered by this.
Yes,
Yes,
her
ma'am.
whole life. She has to walk around in crutches on her special day.
So, Alma, you were in a boot on this special day? In a dress?
Yes, Your Honor. This was the moment that my mom and I had been planning ever since I can remember, with a big, beautiful dress. And I didn't even get that. I had to wear my second choice, the pink.
How did you dance? How did you
I couldn't.
celebrate?
I couldn't. The boot was in the way. I couldn't have my special dad-daughter dance. I couldn't dance with the boy I liked. I couldn't even dance with my friends. Even taking the photos was so hard because I had this humongous boot and the dress and...
I mean, you are beautiful, even with a boot.
Thank you.
Even with a boot, that's a beautiful dress.
But I'll never get that back, and it won't be how we planned.
This platform here, Miss Sullivan,
Yes,
is this the
that's
platform from your store?
Yes, sir.
Matt, would you put your arms around that dress and move it off the platform?
If you'll notice, Judge, it actually has signs on both steps that say, watch your step.
And were those signs there on that day?
Absolutely, they're never off.
Is this the platform that your daughter was on that day?
Yes, sir. That tiny little thing is the platform. Yes, sir.
Not a whole lot of space to celebrate, right?
Yeah.
Asking her to pose as well.
But you got on that platform with your daughter.
Yes, sir.
And that was the party space, at least at the dress shop.
It was.
Do you see why, though, that Miss Sullivan or her employees would be nervous about y'all celebrating on
I do, but she was not present. She should have been present when my daughter was still trying on the dress.
Honor,
At the time that she fell, she was not there.
We're always busy. I stepped out for 2 seconds just to answer a question. I heard the scream and I came running. I asked Magna to call 911 and to get attention to her.
Miss Sullivan, you referred to Magda. That's Miss Perez who's sitting here with you, right?
Correct, yes.
Maybe, Miss Perez, you could step up to the podium. I'd like to hear from you. You were there that day, right?
Yes, sir.
And tell me what you remember.
I hem and fit all the dresses.
Okay.
And when the girls come, they come up on the platform, and that's where I take the measurements. And I always tell them to be careful.
And you did that this day. You told
sir.
Alma
To the plaintiff's daughter to be
careful.
careful, to watch her steps.
Did you say anything to her mother, Miss Jimenez?
I said, ma'am, will you please, keep eye on her, or, make sure that she don't fall.
You were concerned about her actually stepping off the
Yes,
platform.
because she was too jiggly, like too much, and I could not take measurements. Her mom insisted of, oh, look this way, oh, look that way. So
when she fell, it was right in front of you.
Well, actually, no, I stepped away. I was with another customer.
So no one was with her when she's on this platform? Except her mom?
mother.
Exactly.
So let me get this straight, Miss Jimenez.
Yes.
You believe it's their fault because they didn't stay there and hold your daughter's hand?
Nope, there's something else, Your Honor.
What else is that?
Well, in order to get the right measurements, you have to have the right pair of shoes.
Okay.
And so
Makes sense.
they gave my daughter shoes that were entirely too big, 2 sizes at least too big for her feet. Okay?
Why does that make a difference?
That makes a difference because I wanted my daughter to be wearing 4-inch heels. She needed the right heels for that day, and those shoes were too big for her feet.
Why didn't she bring her own?
No, Your Honor. Exactly. So the shop usually supplies those things.
I knew she was going to bring this up. So
Okay.
I've actually brought the shoes that we recommend.
These shoes.
The shoes that we recommended that she get are 2-inch heels. Because typically...
Why do you recommend 2-inch heels?
Because typically a 15-year-old is just learning how to wear high heels.
Your Honor.
They don't know how to wear them normally.
Your Honor, how does she know what my daughter knows and doesn't know?
So, Miss Sullivan, did you offer this shoe with 2-inch heels
Absolutely.
in the
Her
correct size, though?
Everything.
In the correct size?
This is her correct size right here.
Were you and your daughter offered 2-inch heels the correct size?
Yes, those ugly shoes, yes, we will offer those.
This is the shoe she wanted her to wear.
Okay.
This young girl is learning how to wear high heels.
It's a platform, Your Honor. I'm wearing them now. That's really like a 3-inch heel.
And it's a spike heel.
I want to see those shoes, and I'm not going to ask you to try them on.
She demanded that we give her that shoe. We put that shoe on her daughter.
This is the shoe your daughter was wearing?
It was.
And it was too big?
And that was too big, and that's why she fell off the platform.
Is it fair to say this heel's too high for a 15-year-old?
No, sir. That thing is slippery, and those shoes were too big for my daughter's feet. That's why she fell off.
Miss Sullivan, your folks had to know the shoe was the wrong size.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
We told her that the shoe was the wrong size.
Your Honor, I do not recall that.
She still wanted it.
What was her response?
She demanded that we put that shoe on her daughter.
Alma, were you concerned when they put this shoe on you?
I was, because I thought they would have my size. That was the shoe I wanted. And I had practiced at home with other ones that were the similar height.
Did it feel wobbly?
It did, but I trusted her.
Did you tell them?
I did.
So when she tells you she's feeling wobbly, y'all keep the shoes on?
I told her to take that we shouldn't put it on to begin with. And that her mother demanded that we put it on. I'm trying to provide the best customer service
And
and
how are we
give the
supposed to get the
customer what they
measurements without the
want.
right shoes?
So Ms. Jimenez,
Yes,
if
sir.
you demanded that they put on the wrong shoe, it was so that you get the hem right?
Correct. To match the shoes that we already bought for her for that day.
How do you get the hem right if you're moving around?
Well, that happened after though. Yeah.
I think I've heard enough, and I'm ready to make a decision. In every personal injury case, there are 3 elements. You all must prove that Ms. Sullivan was wrong and that her wrong caused Alma's injuries. Here, there's a little bit to go around. Ms. Jimenez, you were a mama bear, a wonderful mom that obviously got in the way of the effort to try to hem the dress. Ms. Sullivan says she and her employees tried to talk to you about it. I do understand these celebratory, once-in-a-lifetime moments and why that was so important. Ms. Jimenez, on behalf of your daughter, you are suing for $35,000 in medical expenses and $150,000 for her pain and suffering. That's a total of $185,000. The law requires me to factor in your involvement in this. Ms. Jimenez, you are responsible for your daughter's injuries, but you're not the only one responsible. Ms. Sullivan, y'all left her alone. You gave her the wrong shoes, and she fell. She stepped off this platform and hurt herself very badly. Considering the comparative fault as the law requires, I do find the fault on both sides. You're 49% responsible. That's why I've reduced what you seek, and I find in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $94,350. That is my final judgment.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
This court is adjourned. Our attorneys across America just viewed this case for the first time. Let's hear what Andrew Finkelstein has to say.
A picture is worth 1,000 words. The picture in this case was worth almost $100,000. The young plaintiff dreamed about her quinceañera since she was a little girl, but that was shattered when she broke her ankle. The photo of her in her beautiful dress wearing a boot fully captured the physical and emotional suffering from her fall. The lesson for us all: take lots of photos of your injuries and your recovery.